had to play that song because, like, the most insane thing ever. Sam Tenez, who sings Play With Fire, which I'm sure we all have heard, has hit listen to this, 1 billion views on TikTok. That's insane. So huge congratulations to Sam Tenez because that's pretty awesome. Hello, hi guys. Hello. Okay. I'm sorry. Let me, hold on. Hey. Hi. Hey, Taylor. Hi, Marie. Angie. Hello. Hi, Nikki. Hey, staff. Thank you guys so much for being here. This is the first book club, part 1 of Perfect Addiction by Claudia Tan. Listen. The moment I started reading the book, it was like I was watching the trailer. It was like I was watching the movie. It is insane how close in details to the book the movie is. I mean, Castile is the director, so no shock, no surprise there. However, my gosh, it was just like I was watching the trailer play out. Hi, Nikki. Hello. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. Happy Tuesday. I hope everybody is doing well. So first I want to talk about, sorry, my door keeps opening. First I want to talk about really quickly an incredible weekend of Hero content. Hero was in Milan at the Men's Fashion Week, and we got some incredible content. We just actually got a video that just dropped seconds ago by Miller Mode. That's all I have to say. That's all I have to say. He looked incredible. He is definitely meant for the fashion world. Literally head to toe in Prada. Super smoking. Y'all, super smoking. And then what an incredible weekend for the fans who got to meet him, hug him, take pictures with him, all done respectfully. As far as I could tell, everything was done very respectful. Like, I feel like, I don't think Hero will ever get used to the attention he gets. But I can only imagine what that's like walking out of your hotel and walking everywhere you go and being screamed at. But the fans of his fans are seriously so passionate. Like, I want him to feel all the love because he's just he's great. He's a great person. He deserves all of this. He deserves all the praise. You know, he's our unicorn. We could talk about Hero forever. So after I was reading, jumping right into Perfect Addiction, because that's what this live is all about. This live is all about Perfect Addiction, and what it was a Wattpad story and she published it, and then it was made into a movie. First of all, how incredible for her, number one. But I didn't really know anything about it except for, when Castile started filming last year. It was last January, I believe, is when they started filming. And I believe they filmed in the Ukraine? Shoot, where did they film? Poland? Somebody help me. I should have wrote this down. But they filmed last year. They filmed for a couple of months. And I knew it was like an MMA book, like fighting. And I knew it was on Wattpad. But that's really all I knew. And then, obviously, Poland. Thank you. Thank you, Maria. Poland. They filmed in Poland. They were there for a couple of months, and I think they filmed in France too, if I remember when I looked it up. They filmed in France for a little bit as well. So I remember seeing, because Matthew, obviously we all know Matthew Nasca, who plays Jax, which honestly, okay, he fits the role perfectly. Let's just say that. He is Inanna's boyfriend / baby daddy, who we all know, our Inanna, who plays Molly in After We Collided. And so they were posting a lot because she came over to visit when he was filming. So the teaser came out and I was like, holy crap, this looks phenomenal. And then Steph at Steph Loves Books was like, let's do book club. Let's do this for book club. And I was like, perfect. So the first book club of the year is Perfect Addiction. And I am so happy that it is because, again, let me tell you. So I know I said we're doing part 1 and part 2. The first 18 chapters. I felt like this is a book that you can just read in one sitting, number one, and I felt like I could do one live, but I am happy that I'm just breaking it up But seriously, like every single one of you who has started this book is like, I couldn't stop. I just read it to the end. So for this one, oh, thank you so much. I appreciate you. I just got a cut last week. Maria, I love you. Thank you. You know how to make a girl feel special. So thank you. So I started reading and I'm like insanely all I could do was like not stop reading this book. And I'm like, I could read this in a full day, but I have a million notes that I have taken. Like, look at this. Oh, well, I printed them up. You know me and my notes. I have about 5 pages of notes. Just notes and little details that I wrote down. I wrote down my favorite quotes and stuff like that. And so I just thought we would go through the first 18 chapters together. I know a lot of you are either still reading it or you're not reading it quite yet. So I will be saving this live. This live will be saved. It'll be on my page. You know how I do. So let's just get right into it. What I love about this book, and I'm not that big of a fan of love triangles. I just don't know. I'm just not that big of a fan. But this one I love just because I love the tension. I love the thrill of the story. I love that it's an MMA story. I love the fighting. I love the underground. I love everything. I'm like, I love everything. Just give it to me all. I love the characters. So far, the characters are really, really amazing. I really love Sienna. So we first meet Sienna Lane. And what's interesting is that the first chapter starts off in like a flashback because it's written in different text. And she's recanting what she had just saw. Her boyfriend of 3 years was nailing her sister. She walked in on them having sex. So she is in the gym. She's in the zone. She's beating the crap out of a bag, thinking about what she just walked in on. And this is her sister. She has provided for her sister. She protects her sister. She loves her sister. And this is a guy she's been with for the last 3 years. They train together. He has taught her so much. They are sharing a life together. And she walks in on them having sex. First of all, that's just awful. It's awful. She leaves the apartment. She has nowhere to stay. And she's currently at the gym that she trains at and that she's working at. Really quickly, I will say, again, I will be talking about the book. So if you haven't read it yet and you don't want spoilers or anything like that, I will save this live, I promise. Just because I know, just because, a lot of you are like wanting to read it right before or watch the book or watch the movie first and then read the book. So just I'm going over all the details. So this is spoilerish. Again, I will say reading the first couple of I would say reading the first 18 chapters is like watching the trailer, watching the teaser. It is incredible to be reading something and already have the images in my head. I already have the actors. I have the setting. I have everything already playing out in my head. It's absolutely incredible. And I'm sure that things are changed because you know what happens when they adapt books into movies. Some details change. But I will say everything that I have seen in the teaser and trailer so far, perfect. Okay, so here we have this woman who is basically like in her mind at rock bottom. She has nowhere to live. She has nowhere to go. She has no one really to turn to. She is not on good terms with her dad. Her mom is in Brazil. And she's just kind of like down in the dumps. Her friends from high school knew about the affair, knew what's going on and all the things. And so she just doesn't really have anywhere to go. So she's at the gym where she works out and she trains, and she's also a trainer. This chick is tough. This chick is really tough. I really like her. Reading first is so much better for understanding the story in its entirety. I love that because I will never, ever be disappointed going from a movie to a book. We're always disappointed going from the book to the movie because it's like, oh, what did they do? But I will never be disappointed from going from the movie or series to the book. I remember when I love the show Outlander. It's one of my favorite shows. Just, oh my gosh. I watched the first 2 seasons and then I read the books. And then when the 3rd season came out, it was just, it, for me, it didn't feel the same. But there's just, it's just such a good series, but there's just such a difference going from the movie to the book, because you're not disappointed. You just find so much, there's just so much more details. There's only so much they can put in movies. In books, the sky's the limit, right? The sky, you can say and do whatever you want to your characters and whatever. So I will say that what I think is gross right off the bat, obviously, is her boyfriend, complete trash, just cheating on her with her sister. Like, that's just a trash move. But he's like, princess, wait. Okay, that's gross. That is just, princess, really? Really? We won't even go there. Okay. So she goes to class after she, so the gym that she works at, I will say, is the Universal Fighters Gym. And this is where, again, where she trains. And she stayed the night there. She was like sneaking in there because she has nowhere to go. She goes to class. She sees her good friend Brent. They share their, they have pickup lines that they give to each other, which I think is hilarious. And she just kind of blurts it out. Yeah, so my boyfriend cheated on me with my sister. And I have nowhere to live. I have nowhere to go. And he's like, hey, I know somebody who has a room to rent. His name is Caden. And she's like, great. So she goes to Caden's apartment. And, I love characters like Caden because he's like that dark, dangerous, quiet. You don't know anything about him, but you can tell he's a really good character. And so, hold on one second. Okay, I'm sorry. I was having some issues with my Wi-Fi. Okay, so immediately Caden is like, no, I'm not interested. Please go away. So she feels defeated, but she also kind of remembers him in a way. She's like, I feel like I've seen him before. I feel like I know him. And oh, Maria, I love you. You're so sweet. You're so sweet. Every single time, can you guys hear me? Okay. Every single time I do a live, I get a phone call. Just saying. I'm sorry. I hope everybody can hear and see me okay. Does she really? Read the book, girl. Read the book. Okay. I'm having an issue with this live. I apologize. I'm having Wi-Fi issues. I'm having getting phone calls and all the things. Okay. Back. So Caden told her no. She goes back to the gym. She's down and out. She's like, what am I going to do? She ends up going to a hotel. She's going to stay the night at a hotel. It's just sad. It's sad. And she's has nowhere to go. It's just a sad situation. So back at the gym, she is just working on her aggression again. She's kind of just thinking back on her relationship with Jax. And I liked what she said here. He was so confident to the point of brazen arrogance. They had a fiery and passionate relationship, and he's the one who originally trained her in MMA. And there is more to their relationship and more to their story. I just think that Jax's character is he thinks he's tough. He's arrogant. He's all that in a bag of chips, and that is Jax, 100%. But he trained her, and he also made her see things in herself that she had never seen before. He pushed her. So I think that's what I do appreciate and like about the originality of Jax and Sienna's relationship. Okay, so she's back at the gym, and she's talking to the owner, Julian, and she's like, where is everybody? And he's like, where do you think? Watching the fight. And so there is a rival MMA gym called Breaking Point that holds these really aggressive, bad underground fighting events that it's no rules. No rules. You can do whatever the heck you want to do in the cage. That's what these events are in Boston. MMA on crack is what she calls it. And Jax is expected to win for the third year in a row. Last year, she finds out because she asks who's going to be there. And Julian says, Caden Williams. And is back up again. And she's like, that's how I know him. Jax beat Caden the previous year. Small world, right? Small world. So she ends up going to the underground fight. And when she gets there, Caden is in the cage. He's in the ring and he's fighting. And to her surprise, Brent is there. And she's like, what are you doing here? And she finds out that Brent is actually Caden's brother. Small world, right? So there's some aftertones a little bit because obviously Tessa meets Landon, and Landon and Hardin are soon-to-be stepbrothers. So I like this. She's friends with Brent, and Brent and Caden are foster. Well, Caden is adopted. Caden the Killer. Caden the Killer wins the fight. And after he leaves the ring, she follows him to make a deal because she's like, you know what? I know how I can have a place to stay, and I know how I can get my revenge on Jax. So she follows him. She says, I want him to know exactly how it feels like to lose what you love the most. So girlfriend is on a revenge train. She is, I like her fire. I really like how tough of a chick she is in this. See, for me, female characters are really tough. Female characters and I don't get along very well. Sometimes I just get really, really annoyed with the female character. Just little things. But I really love Sienna's character, and I love how tough and strong she is. And she knows exactly what she wants. She is not a mess around girl. She's like, you messed with me, I'm going to mess with you right back. Get it! Get it! So she goes and she talks to Caden, and they make a deal. And at first he's like, no. And she's like, I will help you win. I help you win, you give me a place to stay. And at first Caden was hesitant, and then he's like, okay, deal. Hold on. I need a drink. Look at my cute cup. Creations by Susie. Okay. Talk. Okay. So they make a deal, and she moves in. But what I love when they're making the deal is that Caden gives her a nickname. Lucky. Stop it. That's so cute. So she gets in his beat up truck, and they drive silently to the apartment. It's kind of like awkward, you know? Like she's all like hyped up, like, I know I'm going to get revenge on Jax. And she gets in his car, and then it's like crickets, because Caden is not really a talker right now. He's not really a talker. So they drive silently to the apartment, and she gets there, and the apartment is a mess. It's not it's a place to stay, but it's a mess. And he's like, I train daily. I dropped out of school. And she really realizes just how closed off he is. And I can't wait to learn more. That's what I wrote in this. Like, I really love Caden's character, and as of right now, I am extremely intrigued. I'm very intrigued by him. I'm very intrigued by what his backstory is and just what type of character he is. But by chapter 18, we start to get a little sneak peek. Because he says this, I don't deserve to make this place my home. That is a tough thing to admit and a tough thing to say. I don't deserve to make this place my home. And then he gets closed off, and he says, don't ask me questions again. And he goes into his room and slams the door. And she takes the hint, and she goes to her room and closes the door. Whoo! So the next day, we're introduced to the neighbor Kara and her best friend Alex. And Alex, her boyfriend is Daniel. They're like the it couple. They're the couple that everybody wants to be. Daniel's family is super, super rich. She compared them to the Kardashians. And it's really nice to see Sienna making friends because she doesn't have any. And so now it seems like she can find some friends to talk to. And when she gets to school, she has a confrontation with her sister Beth. Now, this is the first time we are seeing Beth since chapter 1, since we found out that her sister Beth is sleeping with her boyfriend. And yikes. So this is the first time that we're seeing Beth. Beth has come to the college campus, come to find her. She wants to talk to her. I'm so sorry. She says she wants her forgiveness. And she's like, are you still seeing him? And she's like, get away from me. She wants absolutely nothing to do with Beth. And honestly, good for her in that moment. You slept with my boyfriend, sister. You slept with my boyfriend. Sorry is not going to cut it at this moment. It's still too fresh. It's still too raw. And Beth's character is really very naive. What else did I say? She's young. She's a bit spoiled and naive. And even Jack says this later on when we see Jax again. So she goes to the gym, and her and Caden's training sessions start. And what I love is not only this, like, she is set on revenge. Like, she is with Caden because she needs Caden a place to live, and she is set on revenge. But whenever her and Caden are together, they have like these sparks. It's like these little tiny moments. It's a look. It's like a brush of the hand. It's just something, these little sparks where you can feel it, but she's just like pushing it away. So after they have a tough workout session, she's really hungry and she wants to go eat, and he offers to cook dinner for her. Stop it. That's so cute. So they get back to the apartment and he makes her chicken. It's like a chicken pasta dinner. I didn't write it down, so I don't remember exactly, but I'm sure somebody will tell me. Then the next part goes where I posted yesterday, when they're having simple conversation over dinner, and she's talking to him about Jax and their 3-year relationship and what Jax did for her. And that's when he gave her hard truths about, I don't think that's not love, that's gratitude. And immediately it took her back. She got closed off. She shut down. And he says, oh, it's so sad. He says, hey, Sienna, I'm sorry you're hurting inside. Because as of right now, it's only been a few days. It's only been a few days. She had the perfect life. She had the perfect boyfriend. She had passion. She had fire. And it was all taken away from her. And it's only been a few days. And so she's still processing, because how do you just fall out of love with somebody? How do you just fall out of love with somebody that quickly, even though they hurt you terribly? How do you fall out of love that easy? So she's wounded. She's hurting. She's revengeful. She's going through all the motions, and you can relate to her so much in these moments. And that's what I really love about this story too, is that it's so relatable. It's so real. And it's something that I have experienced. So it's so interesting for me. I don't really have a lot of triggers when it comes to reading books, because y'all, I have read some dark romance, dark things. Nothing triggers me. What triggers me is when the main characters have rough relationships with their parents, because I do. So she has a rough relationship with her dad. Her dad is a character. Her dad has been married with Lynn like three times within the last like couple of years, okay? And he marries rich women, and they divorce, and then he marries somebody else. So she gets a call the next day from her dad, and my door keeps opening. She gets a call from her dad, and he immediately takes Beth's side, and she's like not having it at all. She's like, did you hear what happened? Do you know what's going on? Defenses are up, walls are up. She's like, don't even talk to me. Don't even talk to me right now. And then I also felt this line very, very deep. She says to her dad, because her dad is obviously trying to get his girls to, be okay again. And she says, just because she's family doesn't mean she gets a free pass for being a terrible human being. And I felt that. I felt that in that moment. You need to let that anger go, or you'll never move on. I think that was a note that I wrote. I have had a lot of things, happen in my life. We're humans, and life happens, and not everything is perfect. Not everything is wonderful all the time. And I've had things in my life and a situation in my life where I struggled so much with hatred and revenge. And that's what fueled me. And it had to do with my dad and my stepmom. And all I wanted was for them to hurt. And it took a really long time to accept and seek forgiveness and all of those things. But when she's so consumed with this anger and this revenge that it's like, I felt that. And when she wrote, just because she's family doesn't mean she gets a free pass for being a terrible human being, I felt that. And that's what relates to me the most when I'm reading the story. So what they've been doing every single morning now that they're living together, it's the next day, is running together. But Caden had never left notes or anything. He just left, and he wrote his first note that morning. Seriously falling in love with Caden, for sure. But so and then we have a funny part come up. So Caden is off running. She wakes up, and there's somebody in her kitchen. And immediately she thinks it's an intruder. Immediately she thinks somebody has broke into the apartment, and she takes a golf club and hits him in the head. And it's actually a friend. It's Evans and Brent, his brother. She's like, "Why are you here? Why are you in my apartment? What are you doing?" They have keys. It's just so much. I'm sorry. It's hard to talk all this and then read in the comments. Okay. So I thought that was a really funny part. And she's like, "Where are you guys? I live here too. Couldn't you at least like knock or call or something?" So that was really funny. But then Caden comes home and he's like, what the hell is going on here? And he comes home angry. He's really irritated, and then he storms off into the bedroom. And everybody's, and especially Sienna, she's like, "What the flip?" And then she's like, she's not going to deal with this attitude. She's like, "I'm not dealing with this." And then Brent says, cut him some slack. And in that moment, I feel like she does need to cut him some slack just because they're still getting to know each other. And she is living in his apartment. I'm like, "Girlfriend, don't get all feisty," but she ends up leaving. So it's the next day, and Caden is still ignoring her. And her dad sends a text that he wants to see her. Her dad, man, I tell you. So then she gets, after class, she goes to the gym, and she's late, and Julian yells at her. Julian is a tough old douchesicle. But I love what she said right here. It's probably one of my favorites. She goes, "Then I get down to business, Fa Mulan style." Mulan reference. I freaking love it. So I just immediately cue the song, "Let's get down to business." So she starts training with Brandon because she's a trainer. This is her job. And that's when Caden shows up to apologize. Stop it. He's so cute. He shows up to apologize. He's like, I treated you like crap, and I'm really sorry. And then she's like, "Is this about you not being able to trust me?" And he says, "I do trust you. I just don't trust myself around you." So now it's like we have this closed off character in Caden, and we don't really know what he's thinking. We're inside her head only. And finally it's like, she is affecting him in a way, because I don't think he's ever dealt with somebody like her before. I love that a strong woman is training a man. Yes. Yes. And when so there's another moment that happens when they're first in the ring, they're first in the cage, and she is like beating him. And she's not beating him because she's stronger than him. Obviously he is stronger than her, but she's quick and she thinks, and she's really, really smart. And then he ends up winning because he uses her strength on her. And she's like, "See, you didn't actually win there. You cheated. You used your strength instead of using up here." And so I love how tough she is with him. I love how they're like the same age, but she's like a no nonsense type of chick. I flippin' love it. I love a strong female lead. Oh, I love it. So I got instant butterflies after this when he says, "I do trust you. I just don't trust myself around you." Oh, swoon. And then I love when she said, "He's cold with me because it's easier to close himself off than to hurt me." So again, as of right now, we don't know anything about Caden's character. We know nothing about him. We just know that he has a troubled past. He has things, he has demons, he has ghosts that are haunting him, and we don't know them yet. We're gonna find out eventually. I love, he says to her, I don't know how to act around you. And I wrote, oh my gosh, vulnerable Caden is adorable. I love that he came to her. I love that he said sorry. I love that he said, I trust you. And then he says, I'm all in. And he says, glad to have you back, Lucky. And she says, you too, killer. Oh, I love it. I love it. And the best thing about it is we know who's playing these characters, so I can envision these characters. It's like playing out in my head. I love it so much. So they're back to training. He is doing a practice round with Declan in the ring. And then afterwards, Caden and Sienna get really flirty. Now they're like, okay, they trust each other. They've gotten to know each other. Now we're getting onto the flirty level. And I love their banter. I love the sparring between the two of them. I also love the trick move he pulls on her. He tricks her, and he pulls her arm behind her back and like gets into her ear. Woo! Goosies. Ooh, the goosies. I love it. Yes. So we get into that more, Maria. We get into that more later, because yes, there are hints that he knows about her. He knows about her. So after class, the next day she's going to the bus to go see her dad. And she spots Evan. She's like, that's a familiar bump on a familiar brown hair out of Hare's head. He's like feeling up some girl against a tree. What in the world? So she goes over there and cock blocks, if you will. And he ends up driving her to her dad's mansion. Blah, blah, blah. And he's like, whoa. She's like, yeah, I'm not rich. My dad is rich, but only rich because he marries wealthy women and then divorces them. Winner, winner, winner. So she gets there, and of course, her sister Beth is there. They're having a family dinner, and surprise, surprise, wife number 4 is there. Her name is Allison, and they are announcing that they are getting married. She does not handle this well whatsoever. And at the dinner table, God bless her, she screams, you're a sad coward, and I pity you. Oh, it's so good. This whole conversation, because it's like you always have these things in your head that you want to say to somebody, but you just sometimes can't, or it just doesn't come out. And then you get that moment where it all comes out, and you finally feel like you're vindicated in a little bit. She felt vindicated. Her dad screams, get out. She's like, gladly. And she leaves. And she, in her thoughts, and this is where I connect with her so well, I wish my dad would give me a reason to believe in him again. And that's all she wants. That's all she wants. She wants a family. She wants her dad to love her for her, because they have issues that we still haven't really gotten to what happened with that family. We just know that the mom and dad separated a long time ago, and it just hasn't been the same since. She goes back to the apartment, and she ends up breaking down in Caden's arms. And I love this moment. I love this moment just because, again, we're getting another side to them. Their story is just growing and growing and growing. She's struggling about being vulnerable, and she keeps thinking back to her relationship with Jax and how he never really said I love you in a genuine way. So now she's really thinking back, and it's like, to her, in hindsight, everything looked and seemed perfect, but it really wasn't. It just wasn't. So he whispers to her, Caden whispers, I won't let you down. Oh gosh. I love Caden. Team Caden, baby. Team Caden. So it's the night of the knockouts. Franklin Park bear cages. I'm like, bear cages? What the flip? And Jax will be there. And this is the first time we're seeing Jax since chapter 1. He has literally been nowhere. No phone calls, no showing up anywhere. Baby, I'm so sorry. Baby, take me back. No, there's none of that, right? There's none of that. He's just like fine with, what happened, apparently. He's a dickle. Okay. That's a new word. Okay, so he's getting ready to go on. She gives Caden his robe, and they share like this moment of just butterflies, just complete butterflies. So Caden is fighting Matic, and when he steps into the cage, he like takes her breath away. So things are changing in her mind. She's still very much set on revenge. She needs Caden. She doesn't want it, like she's not ready to go there with Caden yet. But there are things happening between them, and it's really, really fun to watch. And really, I love the thrill of the story. So after an intense fight, Caden wins. And she goes to meet him afterwards, and someone grabs her wrist. It's Jax. Princess. Oh, no. Oh, no. Do not call her princess. Just stop it right there. She asks, like, he says to her, I was the only one who helped you harness that anger inside of you and made you who you are today. I effing love you. I wouldn't have done all that for you if I didn't. I'm like, he is literally clueless in this moment. And he's like, you're not here for me? Why are you leaving? What's going on? And she's like, are you still seeing my sister? And he's like, well, yeah. Wow. And she's like, he says to her about, she tells, I wrote it down. Because she's like, why are you still seeing my sister? Why are you still seeing her? If you still love me and you want me, why are you still seeing my sister? He says, I don't know. She was there when you weren't, and she's just easy, naive. Get the flip out of here. Jax, get the flip out of here. No, this is the first time we have seen or heard from you, Jax. We are done. We are done. Move on. Go away. Princess, come back. And she's like, I am not your princess. She tells him she's there with someone else to take him down. Oh, snap. I love it. I love it. I love this. I can't wait to see this in the movie. He's like, you wouldn't. Sienna, don't you dare. She's like, just effing watch me, baby. She meets back up with Caden. He's like, what's wrong? What's going on? She ran into Jax, and she starts like looking him over, making sure that, you know, he's not hurt. And she says to Caden, we need to find your weakness, because now she's just ran into Jax, and now she's all like, she's all going crazy. She's like, we need to find your weakness, because, you know, you have to win. He's like, you. She's like, what? He's like, my weakness is you, Lucky. Swoon. And she says, I think you're my weakness too, Caden. Oh my gosh, I can't. I just can't. I just literally can't. I love it so much. Okay. So next thing you know, she's getting a wedding invitation. Good gosh. It's Valentine's Day, and she was thinking back on the last 2 years of spending it with Jax. And she really wants to ignore the day, so she goes out into the apartment, and she's just like, you know, this is a really grungy apartment. Let's do something different here. So she goes and buys paint. I love this. She goes and buys paint. She comes back, and he's like, what the hell are you doing? She's like, I'm painting. Do you have any paint rollers? I forgot some. He's like, so they start painting, but they get into a paint fight, and it's so stinking cute. We know it's in the movie. I was really, really, really hoping for a kiss in this moment. I really wanted a kiss. It was so cute and flirty, and they're having fun together, and it's just, but she doesn't want him to think she's using him to get over Jax, which I totally respect in that moment, because I think she absolutely is developing true feelings for Caden. But the fact that she steps back and is like, I don't want him to think that I'm like trying to get over Jax by using him in any single way. So they don't kiss. So they go to that night. I know it's the iconic paint scene. I'm super excited to see it on the screen, because you know what? It's going to be really, really, really good. Because even though, like, truth be told, I feel like the chemistry between Kiana and Matthew is on fire. But I love the chemistry between Kiana and Ross Butler. I think it's incredible, and this scene is going to be amazing. So thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for joining. See you next time. So it's Valentine's Day, like I said, and that night they got invited. They're going to this like bar event, club event, or whatever. And so she comes out and she's wearing something. She's wearing a dress, and he just can't stop staring at her. And they're in the car on the way there, and he says, you're catastrophically beautiful. Okay, can we just like tattoo that? We need to put that on a t-shirt, okay? You're catastrophically beautiful? I'll marry you. We're done. So they go to the club. And when they're there, they run into Brent and Evans. And there, which we kind of already knew, we find out Brent tells him that he likes Evans. So her and Caden are dancing, and they look over, and Brent and Evans are making out. She's like, well, here we go. And then Caden goes, I can't believe it's my brother and my best friend. So super cute. And I'm wondering if those characters, well, we know that there's a Brent character in the movie because we see her talking to somebody in the class. Like, my boyfriend just cheated on me. I have nowhere place to live. So we know that the Brent character's there. I'm really curious if Brent and Evans and this storyline plays out in the movie. So Caden excuses himself. They've been dancing. Dancing. I really hope we get some dancing too. Hey, girl. And she notices Caden's been gone for a while. She goes to find him, and he's outside, and Jax is there with a couple of other guys surrounding Caden. But Caden is very, like, sure of himself. Caden is, like, not backing down. He's like, mm-mm. And Jax is all, where is she? She's mine. And Caden's like, she's not yours. She's not mine. She's not mine to keep and yours to take. And then Sienna shows up with the crowbar. I freaking love it. They go back to the apartment, and I love what she says to him. She says, build aggression, because Caden is all fired up after that. Build aggression to the point where pain no longer matters. So now it's just like, focus on what we're doing here. Don't worry about Jax. Don't worry about anything else. Just focus on this. And he's like, well, what's a Sienna quote? She says, don't quit, don't split, and don't bitch. He's like, how inspirational. Right down to it, baby. Right down to it. As they're training, their chemistry is just more electric. And it's just building. It's building and building and building and building and building. And then they almost kiss. They don't again. They're like tiptoeing around what's going on between them. They're keeping this as, this is just a fight deal. This is just training. That's all this is. They're keeping it that way. So he's like, I got to go take a cold shower. I put Stepmommy Dearest shows up to the gym and is like, you didn't respond to the wedding invite. We're having bridal shower. We're having bridal dress. If you can come, we're going to pick out the bridal dresses. Please come for the fitting. And she's like, no. She crumples up the paper and she throws it away. But it was interesting because Julian kind of gave her like a really hard dose of reality, calling her unhinged, because Stepmommy Dearest kept calling the gym. It's like she's bringing her drama to this gym, and apparently Julian wants to leave this gym to Sienna. He's like, you're unhinged right now. Get your stuff together. Go take care of your business. So after she sends her stepmommy away, she's got so much anger. She has so much anger built up, and I put, she's about to explode. I said, girlfriend is about to explode, and I hope she explodes on Caden. She has been burned over and over again. Every single person in her life, every single person that she trusts, every single person gives her reason to not trust, gives her reasons to walk away and not put her faith and trust in anybody else. And I don't blame her. Again, I don't blame her at all. And so after the stepmom, Allison, leaves to go, she leaves the address, like I said, she leaves the address to the bridal store. Sienna crumples it up and throws it away. And that is the end of the chapter. So that is chapters 1 through 18. Y'all, that was a lot. I can see why I broke it up into two. The first 18 chapters are intense. It's character building. It's story building. There's so much going into it. There's so much that I love out of Sienna, but I really can't wait for her to start healing. I really love her and Caden. I really feel like they were meant to meet. They were meant to be together. They're going to bring something out in each other that they've been looking for. She's currently living in, she's in a dark place. It's full of hatred, and nobody wants to be in that. I also wrote, I feel the second half is going to be completely different. And I feel like I understand why it was made into a movie. I love it. I love the thrill of the story. It's very, very exciting. I love the MMA world. I love all the different qualities that they're going to probably put into the movie from the book. The hot love triangle, the underground world, the anger, the passion, the love, revenge, forgiveness, all the things that make a great movie. So I can understand why it was made into a movie, and I cannot wait to read the rest of his book. I'm like, I need to read it. I feel like you're going to love the rest of the story currently on chapter 34. I cannot wait to get into it. I feel like when finally Caden and Sienna come together, it's going to be so explosive and just all the things. I did write two of my favorite quotes. Every single time I catch him staring at me, it's so electrically charged that my body feels like it needs to get extinguished by a fire brigade. I mean, that is some hot, good writing right there. And then, why do you always have to do that? He says. Do what? Challenge me. Because I like getting you all riled up. Ooh, the chemistry between the two of them. It's going to happen. We know it's going to happen. I picked the right song, Play with Fire. I love it. I love it so much. Thank you guys so much for joining for part 1 of the Perfect Addiction Book Club. I call it book club because we're discussing it. When I read books or when I watch movies, I love talking about it. I want everybody to watch it. I want everybody to read it. I want to talk to everybody about it. And so this is what I love doing. I love coming on here and I love talking to you guys about it. I love that you join and I appreciate it so much. Part 2 is coming on the 31st, and those are chapters 19 through 37, I believe. And oh boy, a lot is about to go down. I really, really, again, appreciate you guys tuning in for this. Also, that scene of them going to the club, it looks like from the movie Sienna smashes Jack's motorcycle. Yes, so in the teaser, so Nikki, it's interesting because everything I feel like from the teaser and the trailer is straight up from the book, except she says, I don't think she says this yet, I don't know if she says it in the movie about starting war. You mess with my sister and you start with war, whatever she says, I forget the line exactly. And then she like takes a crowbar to his bike and they like storm away or drive away. So I don't know if that's particularly in the book. I'm not really sure. But I'm excited to read more and I'm excited to do this with all of you. I will be posting a YouTube video after everything update very, very soon. I'm trying. I'm not a YouTube person yet. I love coming on lives. I love talking to you guys because I'm talking to somebody. But sitting up a camera and sitting there talking to it is really awkward for me. And it's just going to take some getting used to. But I'm trying. I'm really trying, I promise. So, my first video then I plan on doing is an After Everything update, just kind of everything that we know so far about After Everything. I really, really, really think that we are getting either the poster or another teaser on Valentine's Day. Last year, they released the poster and the movie date. So honestly, I think like anything will do. Anything will do. But they have been following suit. So Valentine's Day. Also, I can't wait to see if there's any more pictures, videos of Hero over the weekend. My gosh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you guys so much for joining. We'll see you next time. Bye, guys.